Welcome, guys. Well,
Yes.
It's the footy episode. Today we're talking about football. What the fuck is it?
Koutoufides.
Koutoufides,
And
Craig
Christou's
Bradley,
ball sack.
and Christou's ball sack. I know some people out there that remember that one.
Yeah.
Career advice with Broden and Cody.
Yeah.
Things not to do. Listen to us. That's one of them. And we talk about a little trip that I took, and I think that's pretty much the whole gist of the gag.
That's right. Make sure you get...
Speaking of gags, sorry to interrupt, Cody.
Go on.
We talk about comedy and we tell some stupid
Again,
jokes.
We do. We got a couple of good jokes in here for you,
That's right.
so make sure you enjoy them. All right, get it up here.
Did you clear your throat properly yet?
Yeah, mine wasn't as bad as yours, obviously. So we're back. We are back.
We're back.
Back for another episode of
Yeah.
Broden and Cody Flow State. Thank you for being with us.
9
at home.
episodes today, boys and girls.
Yeah, episode number 9.
Yeah.
Time flies. Yeah. So what's been going on? What has been going on?
Well. I've been away.
Yeah,
Had a little bit of
where'd you
trip.
go?
Oh, I went for a little drive to Adelaide
Yep.
to see the lovely people of Adelaide, which was great. I drove there in my car. That in itself, what a miracle. What an absolute miracle. Think about you're sitting in a chair
Yep.
that a mere 100 years ago would have been regarded the most comfortable seat on the planet.
Yeah. No, they had comfortable seats back in the
Yeah, I know, but like this is a king's throne that we are in. Any car seat, any modern car seat is comfortable and so comfortable that 50, 100 years ago would have been regarded as a throne. And not only are you sitting in that throne, but you're hurtling across the countryside at 120, 110 in safe zone kilometres per hour, just whipping across the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Hauling a ton of shit with you. You operating this thing with your toes and your fingers. Think of it that
And
way.
most people can do it, which is
Anyone
crazy.
can do it. So I just sat there in awe of what I was doing, and I don't even smoke weed. And
Yeah, that's remarkable.
just driving this fucking monstrous piece of heavy metal machinery across the country in a day to another fucking state and city.
All right, so we get it, mate.
And I
You
haven't
dro-
even got there yet.
You drove to Adelaide.
Yeah, on acid, no.
Yeah, something must have been influencing you.
No, just like when you trying to have a bit of an appreciation for the shit we take for granted.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, like that was fucking phenomenal. Like that I was able to just not. I was just able to go see a work later, have a good one,
Yep.
and just get in a car that I own and drive to another place. Like that's fortunate as fuck.
Is it?
Yeah, it was great.
Yep.
Yeah, and then got there and the Adelaide Fringe was on.
Did you see any shows or
No,
fringes?
we
or-
cock blocked a show though, which was really good.
Did you? Who was it? Anyone I know?
Some British ones. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know who they
Good
were.
comics or?
Well, I don't know because I was busy doing something else. So I went there to host a trivia night for the Never
Yeah.
Enough Judas Priest fan club. They had a
how did
heavy
that?
metal
Oh,
trivia
we'll
night.
get back to that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm leading to. It went fantastic. Wasn't quite sure how it was going to go, but we pulled it together really quickly last
Fantastic.
moment. The lovely Jen Arnold put together a fantastic slideshow for the night.
Oh, good on you, Jen.
Good on you, bloody Jen, you bastard. She's
Yeah.
bloody done it again in an hour and a half just before the thing. And the thing is, Jen's been to a lot of trivia nights. I've been to a
Okay.
few.
Yep.
But this, as a package, looked and felt a lot more put together than
Organised.
the ones that you go to at like pubs.
Yep.
And it was great. And we had a couple of tables there, the two rival tables. They ended up drawing on exact amount of points, and
Yep.
we threw them into a sudden death round.
Oh,
And
high intensity.
yeah,
Pressure.
Well, what the gag was for that is because they were the same points. They both said, I asked them, just in my crowd work, I asked them what their favourite 80s band was or something like that.
Bit of crowd work.
And they both said Motley Crue.
Oh, did
Both
they?
tables collectively said Motley Crue. So at the end, I pulled up that video of Vince Neil where he's like just all fat and dilapidated looking old. And instead of singing the words, he's like, I almost peed. I choked her.
Really?
It's illegible. And I played them that and I said, write down the first verse. What is he actually saying? And I had to get him to just quickly write it
Oh,
down.
right, like it's inaudible.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, because he's
dribble.
literally saying, I get high, almost peed, And then he says something like Big Mac 103 and something. So I told him to write down what he really said, and then this table of these three, older heavy metal dudes, they're actually in a band called Stoved in the Adelaide area. So have a look at the Stoved boys. They're fucking good blokes. They were really, really nice.
Good on them.
So they won. And the sweetest thing that I've ever seen happened after that moment.
Yep.
They won their $50 drink card, and the runner-up table won a jug of beer.
That's good.
And
That's
then
good. You're not going to complain with that.
it was everybody wins.
Fun
here.
time. Yeah, fun times.
At the end of that, they gave the other table, shot them a bit of a nod, and then
Yep.
they pushed their tables together, and they spent
They
the rest
become
of the
friends.
night. Yeah.
There's Motley Crue
I
friends.
was like, oh, fuck, if I had a heart, you know what I mean?
You would care, wouldn't
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and everybody left mates. You know what I mean? We all made some
Oh,
friends. And
united.
Where we poached this show was there was a couple that was just walking past the Brick City Bar in Adelaide. Thanks Triff and Steve for having us. And they popped in. They weren't there for trivia,
Right,
but we threw them a sheet and said, "Sit the fuck down." They loved it.
right.
They loved it, and
Trivia's fun as fuck, man.
It's a good time.
It's competitive.
Mm.
It gets more competitive than you would assume. The fucking trivia, a quiz.
People are
would
nerds,
get.
man.
Yeah, and people get angry
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
They love that. Like we had-
There's a lot of egos at a trivia night. Did you have any egos? Like where people
well,
are like, no, that's not right.
we
It's
did-
actually
Yeah.
1972 on a technicality. It's like, shut the fuck up and just shut up.
Well, we
and
did
be
have
quiet.
one, but it was in good fun. There was a question about what was Black Sabbath, the band's original name. And
okay.
the question that was written down, the answer was Earth. But there was only one guy from Sabbath in Earth at that point, and it wasn't. It was actually like the...
Dio.
No. He was in Sabbath a lot later. It was like Tony Iommi was in that, but it was actually called like the Polka Tulk Blues Band.
Oh, right.
And,
Were they rock blues?
Yeah, they were like a heavy blues thing because they were like...
What year?
60-something. 67, 68. And one guy did that, and I'm just like, hey, man, we're happy to take that as a challenge because this is literally the first time we've done it. So we pulled it up, and he was right, so we gave him the point. But it wasn't an ego one. It was more of a... it was hilarious.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they had... Like, I'm really glad that it happened because... But, yeah, I just had to work that into my... It's like when you get a heckler, you got to smoke them. But we accepted it. But this couple that came across that for this show, this comedy show, they came to this thing just for a couple of drinks, and I just picked on them relentlessly, just because they weren't supposed to be there, and they fucking loved it, and then they just
enjoyed the
for their
negative.
show,
Yeah.
Oh, like not badly. I was just like, they were like,
Yeah, they get it.
Write
They
your
understand.
table name, and they wrote some word down. I'm like, what's that? And they said, oh, that's our couple name. And I said, what's that? It's your Tinder name. Jeez, hey, these guys are swingers over here.
Yeah,
just doing shit like that. And they came back after the thingo and like just said, oh, I said, how was the comedy show? And they're like, this was better.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's fucking funny.
Well, can't wait until we start doing our comedy.
We should do
shit.
trivia nights.
Yeah,
Cash
definitely,
Man.
definitely.
That's
Let's
crazy.
do that.
But no, I can't wait to do some more gigs, man. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, so excited now. I go through my waves where I'm like, I don't like comedy very much anymore.
Yep.
And then I go and watch a whole bunch of really good comedy.
And you're like, I want to do it.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I should do it again.
What have you been up to, mate?
Nothing, really.
Nothing? Really?
Yeah, no, very low. Just this,
Yeah.
essentially.
That's good.
This and earning money to live.
It's important.
I've been avoiding illness lately
Mm.
because, as we know, we're in the middle of a crisis or something.
Well,
Um,
or something.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not a doctor,
No.
but all I know is, I'm keen to get back into comedy. I'm enjoying music a lot lately. Having a really good time listening to some music. Been going around helping out a friend every now and then who is a horse vet surgeon.
Really?
And he's very well renowned
Wow.
in the field. And that's been very interesting, going and watching surgery. Basically just driving him around and watching surgery. Just different forms of surgery.
What kind of surgery? Are we talking hardcore shit like open heart, or are we talking like just file your nails up? Like,
Yeah.
he's not a
he
not a
does a bit of-
farrier.
he does a bit of everything. So depending on what... I know he does castration, which to me that would be the most horrible. Like I'd just be cringing the whole time going, that was my balls! You know?
But is it because of the pressures that society puts on the male testicular bag, or is it just because it's a surgery? Because you know it's balls.
Why I wouldn't like it? Because I know it's balls.
Because it's because you know it's balls.
I don't even really like touching my own balls.
Yeah,
You know
penises
what I mean?
and balls are disgusting. I don't even like looking at my own.
I just get, it's like, you know, when, what's a good example? You don't want to, I don't know. It's just kind of gross. You're kind of like, oh, it's too. I'm worried.
This is why I have like a lot of respect for women. The fact that they have to, well, they don't have to, but a lot of them choose to enjoy to touch one of them, and I could never do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
props to all the ladies out there.
Hats off to you, ladies. Thanks in advance, and thank you.
Thank you so much for your service. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, but even like if someone else is touching mine, I'm like, it's just like, this could go wrong. This could go wrong really
What if it
quickly.
falls
It's just if you too much pressure.
That's where the trust factor comes in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't trust a lot of people
Oh, that's all right.
with ball sacks. When it comes to ball sacks,
I don't trust people with ball sacks. Did you say or you don't trust people with your balls with ball sacks when it comes to ball sacks?
I wouldn't leave my ball sack in the care of another human being.
That's right. That's a good answer. I don't trust. Oh man,
I wouldn't say, here, take care of my ball sack over the weekend. I'm going away.
Yeah, exactly.
In that, if that makes it more clear.
Ball sacks.
Ball sacks, bumholes.
Hang on. We were just talking about horse surgery. What's going on here? I want
yeah.
to know more about this horse surgery. What's going? So what kind of? What's the when you've been involved with old
What
son?
have I mostly?
Yeah. What have you
done with
seen?
him?
What have you?
We'll get him on the podcast one day.
Yeah,
He's a very
please. I'd
interesting
love
guy.
to. I'd love to.
Okay, so yeah, you just go and he screwing joints on foals to strengthen their joints in their legs. That is what mostly I've seen him do.
Yeah.
Impressive. He's got it down to a fine art. He's
Oh,
been doing
well,
it for just 20 years. But
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're
Shit.
fucking cutting it open, and it's like, just make sure you don't kick, and then just cut it open and get literally a fucking screwdriver in there and just
Which part is he cutting open?
just the size. It's basically the side of your ankle.
Yeah.
If you want to relate it to you,
Yeah.
side of your ankle is a screw going through the joint.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell,
Yeah.
I don't. He explains it to me, and it just goes over the top
Yeah.
of my head, and he just pulls it out and throws it on the ground and goes, "All right, stitch it up, wrap it up. I'll see you later."
Gee, that's amazing.
But it's seasonal work for him, he says, because it's like the horse racing industry. At this time of year, people buy horses have foals, you screw them, and then 6 months later or whatever it is, take them out. So it's seasonal work.
So he's a
Put 'em
horse
in,
screwer.
and take them out.
Screws
Yeah,
horses.
between all the other surgeries. Yeah, he does. No, I'm not saying anything about it. He's a savage.
No, I'll ask him when he comes in.
Yeah,
he's a
we'll definitely
savage.
get
What
him
do you
in.
mean he's a
He did
savage?
ask to be on the podcast
Yeah.
too the other night when we were at the pub.
What do you mean he's a savage?
Jiu-jitsu.
Oh, really? This is how you know him?
Through
yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
right.
Yeah.
Sav. A
Yeah.
Savalava.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
know
amazing.
a lot of savages through
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu.
And it sounds like they come from
Fighting.
all places in the world too. Horse surgeons that can rip your head off.
Yeah,
Amazing.
But you wouldn't really pick it. Just calm, mild mannered people, and then
He knows that stuff, so he never has to know it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
That's fantastic. So horse.
So that's what I've
surgery.
been doing.
That's
yeah.
great. That's some weird shit. I like that.
Just something different to look at.
Yeah.
you know?
You got to have a bit of variety too.
It's
You know,
fun.
It's definitely
Yeah.
fun.
It's fun.
It's a good time because you can't just be staring at the same fucking thing all the time.
No.
I don't know why more people don't shoot up. I'm not saying anyone should, but I don't know how
Shoot
more
up.
people haven't
Shoot
shot
up
up
or
their
shoot up?
shoot up like kill everyone.
Yeah.
Not saying they should, but I mean, there's obviously a lot of fucking people out there who are really. I think I find that creative people have more of an issue with this, but being tied down to a single thing, and I can see how that can just drive you fucking batty.
Yeah.
Like, just makes you want to blow your own brains out. And unfortunately, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But, like, I just could not do something that didn't have variety. Like,
Yeah.
it's this. You can use the same set of skills in every day, but it's a different challenge every day. Where if you're a horse surgeon, you're a horse surgeon, but every day is going to be something different. Yeah, you'll have those little jobs here and there that are the same thing, but at least you get to get in the car, go somewhere else to do it with a different horse, with a different thing, and you're solving different problems.
Well, what he spoke about is just like he doesn't think about it anymore. It's just like it's not the novelty of it all, or the excitement of it all is worn off. It's 20 years, so now it's just like I just roll up and assess it and know what tools I need and
Yeah.
what to do.
Yeah.
Not without even thinking about the complexities, because it's not complex to him anymore.
No. Well, once
Surgery,
you've done it for so long.
to people who have never done surgery, just like you're watching and you're going, what in the fuck? Like, how do you know that you're in the right spot? You just, it looks like they're just poking around calmly.
Yeah.
But they know exactly what's going on.
He's surged a lot of foals, I can imagine. Surged them.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So he has surged them. No, it's interesting. But you're right, like when it comes to variety of day-to-day variety, I think you need.
Yeah.
But if you can't and you have to work in a factory where you go to a machine and every day you take a box and put a thing in a box and that's what you do for 8 hours, then that's okay, but you probably need to be doing something outside.
Get
You
an
don't
exit
go
plan.
home and just sit there and watch
If
TV.
that's you, if you're watching and you are unsatisfied with your job, don't talk to us because we don't know what the fuck to do. But here's some advice. Here's something I used to get out of that. Have an exit strategy. Like if you go into something that you want to do, have an exit strategy. Everything that you do, know how you're going to get out of it and how you're going to get out clean. Just go, okay, I don't want to be making boxes all day. What the fuck am I going to do next? So I'm going to use the boxes. I'm going to use the box job, and I know that I've got this time off, and I'm going to use that time to get out, to apply for jobs, to do whatever, to do what I can.
Yeah.
And then that comes down to, hey, Cody, we need you to do an extra shift. Sorry, can't do it. Well, but it's extra cash. You're like, yeah, I know, but the extra cash don't mean shit if I want to blow my brains out. So I'm going to use that time instead of working for the extra cash to go and find another job because I need this cash right now to buy my stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one way you can do it is to have an exit strategy. Jeez, my nose is so itchy today. I don't know what it is. Must be all of that bloody flu going around.
Well, I've got shitloads of toilet paper if you want to go and help yourself.
Yeah, I'm pretty good for that because I'm a responsible adult, so I prepared like a normal person.
Did you? Yeah, I just bought normal amount of
But like
shit.
that's the same, normal amount. You don't need like if you have to wipe your ass that much, then you're full of shit, quite literally.
Going back on what you were saying, strategic. You got to be strategic. I think about when in your life you do certain things. Like I'm getting married next year in 2021. That's happening, but it's not. I don't feel like we're not having a big wedding. We're not investing like half a house like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we both agreed.
I love going to those weddings.
Shit. Yeah.
They're great
it's
to go to.
Great food.
That's right. Ooh,
Everyone's there.
Yeah.
But fuck that.
Yeah.
It's just a party. A wedding is just a party for your friends to come to. It's like you don't even have to really be there.
You pretty much don't, except you're paying for all the bastards to eat.
Yeah, that's right. But, you know, I've met my girlfriend sort of halfway.
Yep.
So
you're just going to meet her at the wedding?
yeah, I want to meet her there. She'll come late or something, she said. Yeah. But I don't know, if you haven't got your life, your career sorted into a point where you're going, I can do this for another 10, 15 years, this job, or it's going somewhere, it's going to where I want to go, then you should buy a house and mortgage and settle, I think. But if you're doing a job that you hate and then all of a sudden you've locked yourself into this fucking... It's a bad strategy because now you've got a mortgage and it's like it's going to make it extra hard. For me, I can just run away from a job and get a new job, and that's what I've been doing because I'm like, I don't really... Now's the time because I will have a mortgage probably next year as well.
Yep.
I'll be on the mortgage.
Just going to say, do that while you can. Do that
Establish
while you can.
what you want to do before... And that because that's a lock. That's a lock into a career.
And gain the skills you can on the way. I don't think it's 100% a lock. I mean, I see people...
shit can still come up.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, you've got... There's not much... There's less leeway.
Yeah.
There's less play.
I know some dudes who are like, you know, having their fourth kid, you know, and they've got a house they're paying off and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to leave my job and go back to uni. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? Who's going to look after your wife? Who's going to look after
Well, that's a good
kids?
example because I
And they
want to
just
go to
do it.
uni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just do that. But how? Like, that's the thing is that I couldn't do that. I'd be like, fuck no, I have to work this job for 5 more years to pay off this thing, and then I can go and do that after I'm finished. Like, I take things in one step at a time. But these guys are like, it'll be fine. I'm like, look at you. You got no weight on your shoulders. Everything's fine. Another kid coming. I'm just going to go back to uni. And I'm just like, how? Like, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, how?
Yeah, tell me, please. Reveal your secrets.
Because this is where I was like, my girlfriend's like, I want to buy we want to get a new house, and I do too. But first of all, I want to establish what I'm going to do for the next fucking 70 years or whatever, or the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Because that's something you should really pay close attention to. And I don't think a lot of people do.
I don't think it exists anymore, though. You can't do anything for 50 years anymore. Like back in the day, you used to do whatever your dad said you were doing when you left school. And you left school at fucking 13, and you'd go and you'd be a fitter and turner until the day you fucking died.
Yeah.
But now, every couple of years, we change careers. We do something different.
Yeah.
We'll own a business. We'll close a business. We'll work at the post office for 10 years. Then we'll go and do something else. Maybe we'll drive a taxi. Everyone's got different career paths all the time.
Yeah.
And I kind of see why, because like if you want to get down to it, you're a different person. 100% of your cells completely regenerate and are replaced over 7 years of time. Right?
Yeah.
Talk to Carl Sagan about that if you can dig him up. But
Don't dig him
I
up.
understand that you change, like people change, so they shouldn't have to be kind of tied down to the idea that they need to do one thing for 50 years.
Yeah.
And I've got full credit to anyone who can. I've got a friend he's not even a friend anymore because I haven't seen the motherfucker for a decade. But he was a butcher at 16, apprentice butcher. Still a butcher at the same place.
Well, yeah, craziness.
Yeah, over a decade later. And I'm like, dude, how? You just stand in the one spot all day and cut fucking meat all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Can be done.
Goes home, got a couple of kids, a wife, lovely family. But I just I could not just you work all week and then you spend 2 days getting fucking shit-faced, plastered on the weekend. Then you go back and you stand in that one spot and cut a bunch of meat. And I'm like, I couldn't do that. I'm sure there's more to it than that. Obviously, I'm not even peering out. I'm just kind of hypothesizing this idea of what a job is.
No, well, there's people out there that potentially live that life.
Yeah, there are. I'm not saying this particular person does, but how do you do it?
I think the reason that people, work 2 years at a job and then go somewhere else and they try new shit is because we're very privileged in the West to be able to do, there's so much opportunity now. Look at this, for instance. We're making a podcast. We're essentially doing a radio show
and a TV show.
Where go back even maybe, what are we? 20 years, 25 years. There's not a hope in hell that you could broadcast anything you want like a radio station.
Yeah, for less than $100,000.
For less than $100,000 and go into a studio where everything sort of had to hire other people.
Yep.
Now it's you and me. We've got a bunch of equipment. You know a thing or two about sound and cameras. I know a thing or two about cameras. We set this up and we're sitting down. We're making a radio station that people are listening to on a weekly basis.
Hopefully people are listening to on a weekly basis.
I know there's at least two.
Yeah.
So
that's you and me.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
Yeah, but that's exactly that. There are opportunities, and it frustrates me a little bit when people say there's no jobs going. And I'm like, motherfucker, there's jobs going. I understand that when you look on things like Seek or whatever, most of it is medical receptionist and needs 2 years experience.
Yeah,
or, geologist. Engineer, geologist. Those jobs you're not going to get those even if you have those jobs because those jobs are mandatory that they have to advertise them and they normally fill them within the people they know. But I mean, the age-old art of showing up to a place with a resume, that's how you get fucking jobs. And people still say, you have to apply online. Yep. Go in there as a customer. Seriously, this is how the last couple of jobs that I've gotten or that I've seen people get have been got. I hate the word got, by the way.
Have been gotten.
Have been achieved or obtained. Go in there as a customer.
Yeah.
Have a chat with just be yourself. If you're
any
shit,
jobs going, bro?
Yeah, you go do, and then you give them a piece of paper that's all scrunched up. Oh, this is my resume. So if you just go in there and be yourself, and you're not a fucking idiot, and you can have a good conversation with the manager, keep that in mind, and then go back in there next time they are there with your handbag or whatever the fuck you carry, and just go, hey, I'm job hunting at the moment. I've got a resume. Do you mind if I drop your resume? Give them a generic, just pretend you weren't even looking. Give them the resume. And they'll be like, fuck, you know what? We're not hiring at the moment, but I'm going to keep you in mind. And then, just say it's a chain store, they'll fucking recommend you to the next person. They go, look, this prick came in and they're fucking awesome. You should give them a job. That's how I've seen the last couple of jobs show up. Yeah. Just from literally just showing up there, knowing somebody. Mm-hmm. And I suppose the thing is a lot of people who that have trouble finding a job are people who probably don't really want to have one. Which is fine. I don't want to have one. I don't want to have a job. Well, how good would that be? Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, just like most of our culture, we live well above our means and we have to maintain that somehow.
think another vital thing to do is not to shoot too high, but you also need to find, like, you need to have something, a structure,
Yeah.
something to aim for. Like, if you're without goals or ambitions, then it gets pretty bleak and miserable pretty quick, I think. To simplify it, this is just what works for me. I'm not telling people how to live their life like some piece of clay. Like, I don't have all the answers. But for me, it's always worked like this. For holidays, for comedy, for jobs, whatever it is, I commit to something. So say I sign up for a comedy festival.
Yep.
I don't have a show. I don't have anything. But I've made that's locked in stone.
Yeah.
I've spent money now, or I've bought a plane ticket. I've got to go.
Yeah.
Then you've got no other choice but to produce something. You know what I mean? So
you're kind of in the deep end now, and you have to get out.
Yeah.
I think we work the same way, man. That's exactly how Adelaide happened. That was booked for me and said you have to fucking come now.
Now I've got to do it, and you end up actually putting a lot of effort in when.
Yeah,
when you're just floating along, going, "I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah, I know in my mind I'll do it." But
And
you
then
don't do it.
The fear of failure pushes you harder.
Yeah, the fear of failure is like, but all of a sudden it's there now. So now you're constantly reminded. Geez, I spent $500 on registration for this festival. Constantly reminded, getting emails. You're like, "Oh yeah, I've got to write now because I've got to come up with a show." And then all of a sudden, you're 2 weeks out, you still haven't got the show done, but you work extra hard, and every night you're slugging away, like what we did with our show that we did last year.
Yeah.
Through necessity, you produce something that's good generally. So it's like set some sort of achievable goal, I reckon, and just even if you're, but you can't go too high.
Yeah.
You can't go, oh, I can do a comedy festival show. I've done it before, so I'll set that. And that's not a very high bar because anyone in the world can pay the $500 and fucking go up there and go, Chinese or whatever. I don't know.
What? Chinese food? Be careful how you finish that sentence. See, there's an open opportunity there to change something.
Yeah, exactly. See, I just think works the same for everything.
I think you're right. And that kind of brings it around to the second part of that, not just to bring it all back about me. The second part of my trip from Adelaide was to Broken Hill, and the goal was to write a song.
Yeah, you've been talking about that for a couple of months. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, and I've been really looking forward to it. And the trivia night was, I suppose, the main feature of that, but I've been trying to get up there for 4 years. A friend of mine up there, Amy Volkovsky, works for the ABC. I don't know why I'm doxing her name and her work, but she
check out Amy.
was the first person to ever contact me on my music page, which at the time no one knew it was me. It was just a picture of a guy with a stupid hat on and a bunch of music up there.
Who is it? What is the name?
It was Luffagan. Luffegan. You won't find anything new up there unless something's happened between now and then.
But like, word of it, like if you're into your synth wave, if you're into really cool, creative synth style instrumental music.
I did an EP with just these two little things here and a couple of other pieces. That's the Korg Volkers. But so this is about 4 years ago, and I put up this EP that I'd made, and I get a message from Amy, and she says, she goes, "Hi, it says, like on Instagram, it's like, it says that I know you from Facebook. It says we're friends on Facebook, but I can't figure out who you are."
Yeah.
And she was,
your Instagram's linked to your Facebook.
Yeah, and because it was before it said what your real name was, and she's like, "I don't know who you are, but I just listened to all your stuff and I really like it. If you ever want like female vocals or anything, just let me know. I'd really love to do something." And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm not telling you." So, "Oh, really sorry, sir." Sort of, not really, but like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't want to invade." I'm like, "No, just joking. It's me. It's Broden." And she's like, "What? You fucking dark horse." And I was like, "Fuck yeah." And so literally the first person unsolicitedly to contact me and say, "Hey, I don't know who you are, but I really like your stuff." And I'm like, "Well, let's do something at some point." And then at that point in time, we had some gigs together because I was playing bass for a band with my friend Charlie, and we did a tour with Amy's band, and we did some other stuff. But we never got around to doing this synth stuff. And so
you've done that.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going to be in Adelaide, then I'll detour to Broken Hill. She's like, "Man, I'm going to be in Adelaide the same day. We'll carpool back." And then we ended up just following each other back to Broken Hill. And then we just spent a couple of days up there smashing out some tracks and went and filmed a video clip in the desert. And then I drove home.
Cool as shit.
And it came up fucking fantastic. And that's the thing, the pressure. You put yourself in the shit and you go, "I've come fucking all this way. I'm 9.5 hours away from home.
Yeah, and you did it.
And you
What
just
set
do
out
it.
to do.
And it come up mint because you throw yourself in the deep end and the uncertainty is the thing that drives you there.
Yep. Yep.
And-
And you end up, and you end up happy with the result.
Exactly. And it works almost every time. I heard a really cool quote, something about like, you know when you wade out into water and your feet are on the ground and you're safe?
Yeah.
That's all cool. You know what's going to happen. That's predictable. But it's when you get far enough out that the floor drops out from beneath you is when all the magic happens because you know fucking clue what's going on. Anything can happen there, and that's when all the cool shit happens. So, I mean, creatively and socially is the perfect time to wade down into water enough that the floor drops out from beneath you and anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's, you got to put yourself outside of your comfort zone to get anywhere, to succeed, to do anything that's worth worth your salt. It'll really fucking show you who you are.
You like truly have to risk it.
You do to get the biscuit.
You do.
Indeed.
100%. And it's, again, to relate it back to comedy, it's like you'll come up with really good jokes if you risk it and fucking tell a shit joke.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know.
And especially when you're on the spot.
Put it all on the line. Fuck
Yeah.
it. You know, and it's good to watch a comedian really risk it and say something that's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And then bring it back around.
And then have it really good because of the risk. They jumped out, risked it all, and it paid off. Like, that's why that nervous energy of like a horrible, touchy joke that it gets such a bigger reward than like, oh, so something happened to me on the way here.
And written down. Very safe.
Just that risky business.
I love that
like,
you
well,
get a heckler, you know, that's when that stuff happens is that the heckler takes the floor out from beneath your feet and you've got to fucking recover. So you want to kill that motherfucker right on the spot, which was I'm really happy with, even though ours was very well planned out, the heckler killer part where, you know, we made it out like you didn't want to have to deal with them. So that's what I was there for.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
that's
heckler assassin. And so when they'd talk, wham! And so like giving them the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, letting them. And then it was surprising that not many people said anything.
You're training them, but we had a room full of friends. So I mean, mostly there was randoms mostly, but we had a lot of friends.
We had a lot of
the
friends
front.
in there, yeah.
And people up the front don't normally like to heckle. I
Yeah.
suppose. Is that the right? I don't know who likes to heckle. I don't
There
heckle.
was a bunch of random. I say random, but they come and see me a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, there was women in the front row.
Yes.
Who don't know them personally. I can say hi after gigs.
Yeah.
And they said something, but it wasn't offensive. It was something. Yellow's not my colour or something because I was wearing a bright yellow shirt. Yeah. Yellow's not your colour or you look fat or something like that.
Shut the fuck up, bitch!
Yeah, it's like,
Get the fuck down! Look at the fucking microphone!
yeah.
No one came here to see you talk! Fuck up! Things not to do. How not to deal with a heckler. Shut the fuck up! Stop punching people.
Well, it all depends with the heckler. This is the psychology of it, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's like if there's been a heckler all night,
Yeah.
everyone's thinking the same thing, going, this fucker won't shut up. If you have it to that point and no comedian's brought it up whatsoever,
Kill
and then you're
them.
the first one to bring it up,
Yeah, kill them.
whatever you say, if you just go, oh, fucking, you know, some generic, where did you learn to whisper in a helicopter factory or something like that?
Like that.
Yeah, like that sort of. Just use that. It's an old joke that they used in the fucking 70s or something.
Because helicopters and factories are both very loud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But like, I suppose that's the thing is if someone's been giving people shits all night, by killing them, anything you say is going to be hilarious.
Because everyone's like,
thank
fine.
fuck.
Elephant in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, always. And you, regardless of a heckler or whatever it is, if it's someone with a really like honky, fucking loud laugh, you got to address that too. You got to address the elephant in the room. You can't just ignore, unless it's like someone. Won't go there, but like, there's some things you just assess. Like you've seen comedians before, like make the mistake of roasting someone that probably
Shouldn't have been roasted.
Roast people. Yeah. So you got to be careful in that aspect.
Yeah.
But if like it's just a lady who keeps snorting when she laughs, address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Because people love it.
Don't call her an elephant in the room.
Yeah, don't do that. Whatever you do.
I just thought of a great idea of just listening for a heckler and going, like, what are you doing? Tranquilizing the elephant in the room. This is why you do comedy and I don't. Hey.
Let us know what you think of that one.
Yep.
Just send it in.
Yep, put it in there.
I'll use that at my next gig if people upvote it enough.
Upvote. This is
I'm
funny. Is
just
this a Reddit one?
I'm tranquilizing the elephant.
But I suppose anything,
It's getting funny.
if you deliver it bad enough. I love bad jokes, man. One of my favourite bad jokes I came up with in the shower, and I lost my mind. I was 14. I remember this is like probably the first real joke that I remember originally coming up with that was like a joke, but it was so horrible, and I could just imagine someone like Neil Hamburger like delivering it in this particular way. You know, it's just really dry. Mm-hmm. The joke was, what does Dracula use to wash his hair?
Don't know. Couldn't even guess.
Mortifying shampoo and conditioner.
You wrote that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula.
No. Not Jesus Christ. Similar. One of them sucks blood. One of them wants you to suck his blood.
Were you real proud when you wrote that?
I lost my fucking mind. It was the funniest shit I've ever said to myself in my head. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, I'm literally 14 in the shower washing my hair and just like, fortifying shampoo and conditioner. I'm like, mortifying shampoo and conditioner. Dracula. That was funny to me, but
yeah,
I've never successfully and could never successfully deliver that.
Yep.
To make it that it was hilarious.
Yep.
But it's hilarious to someone somewhere. And I think the reason that it's...
Oh, it is, yeah.
The reason that it is hilarious is because it is not. Because it is so stupid. And you shouldn't have to explain a joke ever, but I love jokes that are dumb, that don't have any one. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine, Lucas, sent me a joke, actually. He wanted me to tell it to you. And I'm like, I don't know, it's somebody else's joke. But he goes, look, just tell it. Just tell it. And obviously acknowledge that it's someone else's joke. So this joke, this guy, I'll tell you this joke, all right? The joke goes, there were these 3 kids in like a paddock and they wanted to throw these bricks up in the air and see who could like get it the highest, and they didn't know how they could measure it, so they decided that if they let it hit this mud, they'll be able to see how deep it goes, and whoever's the deepest gets the highest thing. And so the first kid chucks his brick in the air and it lands in the mud and goes down like a whole foot, and they're like, whoa.
You've heard this.
Yeah, you might have, but I'll keep
going.
Yeah, you might have even told me this before, I don't know. And anyway, the second kid throws his up even higher and it goes like 3 foot in the mud.
Yep.
And then the third kid, throws his up in the air and it doesn't come down.
I've missed something.
So there's another joke. This is another joke that he tells in the thing. He says,
wait, was that it?
There's another joke. So this lady, she's got a pet parrot, and she wants to take it with her when she goes on a trip. But there's she goes on this place, and it's like no parrots, you know, on this plane. No, if you have a parrot, you can't fly. And she goes, oh, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. So she puts some food in her bag and she hides it, and she takes it on the plane. And she's up in the plane, she's in the sky and stuff like that. And then the captain comes out with a big cigar, and he's talking to everybody. He's like, hello, ma'am, how are you doing today? Blah, blah.
Fucking year is this?
And he says to this lady, he goes, ma'am, are you having a great flight? And she's like, yes, I am. It's like, what was that? You can hear the parrot. You've got a parrot. And she goes, no, I don't. Yes, you do. You got a fucking parrot, bitch. And so she's like, I don't have a fucking parrot. Christ. And so she goes, you do. And then he unzips her top and pulls it open, and there's a parrot in there. And she goes, I fucking knew you had a parrot. I knew you had a parrot. I knew you had a parrot. You can't have a parrot on this flight.
Yep.
And then he opens the window of the plane. He throws a fucking parrot out.
Open the window and fly. Yep.
That's right. And she goes, well, you're not allowed to have a cigar on a fucking plane. And she takes a cigar and she fucking throws it out the window. And the guy's real pissed. Like, they close the window and she fucking sits down and she's getting upset. And then the pilot's upset. He hasn't got a cigar, so he goes back to the fucking cockpit and he sits down there. And then he hears a... He looks at the door. No one's there. And then he hears a... It's the parrot on the window of the front of the plane. Mm-hmm. And guess what he's got in his mouth?
A cigar.
No, the brick.
Yep. There it is. Yes. The parrot got the brick, yeah. So it's a 2-parter. It's a sequel.
That's it.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
But I love it because it's so stupid. You forgot about the brick. But like...
Oh, well, the whole time I was like, that couldn't have been a fucking joke. You can't just leave it like that.
But like that's a good gag. I think that's a good gag because it's fucking stupid, and everyone just kind of like waits at the end and goes, "What? Nothing."
You've really got to detail like what you did with the flight to make it funny, I reckon. The smoking the cigar, bitch. Calling her a bitch. You can't have a parrot on your bitch. That's where it gets funny, I reckon.
If you ever want
unzip the top, you've got a parrot.
You just can't go up to someone with a cigar on a plane and unzip their top and take their parrot out.
She's got the parrot in her top, for starters. He comes out smoking a fucking stogie.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell.
You've got a parrot.
I'm the pilot here, bitch.
You've got a parrot. Like winds down the window in a fucking jumbo jet.
747. It'll just suck everyone out.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not everyone, but...
good times, everyone.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's somebody else's gag.
Is
but,
it?
But I told it to you for Lucas because he asked me to.
Yeah. Oh, great work.
Yeah, good work, boys.
Everyone.
But
First joke I ever wrote, and I was so proud of it. This is when I first did my first ever set of comedy. And I was like, I've written the funniest joke in the world. I've just written the funniest joke ever. And because it was stupid, it's like a dad joke style, which I loved. Mm-hmm. It's a good starting point. So it was, went for a bushwalk. It was like, hey guys, my name's Cody. And it was the opener.
part of the joke?
No, not part of it. Just like, oh yeah, so I went for a walk in the bush. I went for a bushwalk today. And I come across an ex-campsite, and the fire was still sort of half going. And someone had left one boot behind. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, who would leave one boot? Wouldn't you get like one step away and realise, I'm missing me boot? I'm thinking, what is this? Oh, getting all confused. And then it dawned on me, it's that boot camp everyone's talking about. I'm just like, what?
I like that. That's fucking good.
And then I go, I don't know what all the fucking fuss is about. $15 a session.
Boot camp. That's fucking hilarious.
And that's because I literally saw a boot. It was in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
I was like, and I said to myself, I was like, must be that boot camp everyone's talking about. And I lost my shit internally. I was just
Do
like,
you still
maybe
use that? Do you bring that back?
Every now and then I do
should
it.
still bring that back. That's fucking hilarious. I like that.
That was the first one. And it got a huge laugh. My first ever set of comedy. And I was like,
I love it. That's dumb shit. That's fucking funny. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's a dumb stupid.
But like in a good way. Like just call, like I love it when you call things what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the highway.
Yeah.
Seems pretty flat to me.
Yeah, it's like exactly what your dad would do.
Exactly. That's why this old voice comes from. All those old people there
Yeah,
that they talk like
bastard.
this. They go down to the pool after school.
The pool.
Yeah, that's right.
Another one I wrote, and I was proud of it because I'm like, that's a joke. That's like people will tell that in the street. And it was
Just go into the street and people are telling it.
So the way you'd probably tell is like, there was this young boy and he was listening to his dad quit his job on the phone, and the father goes, you can stick it up your ass. And the young boy was listening and he goes, Mum, what does that mean, stick it up your ass? She goes, sweetie, that's just what people do when they don't like something. And the boy took it the wrong way. That night he was in the emergency room with broccoli up his ass. And I tell that like it's me.
That's fucking fantastic.
But I stopped writing jokes
Stick
like
it
that.
up your ass. You should do more. They're great.
Because I was real motivated when I started doing comedy.
Yeah,
everything I did was like comedy.
You can
I was
turn
like,
it into
I'm
this.
joke.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's just like,
Nah, please, more of those. More of those. They're fucking fantastic.
I've got to get in the mindset. You've got to live in. You've got to be thinking about comedy every single day to be coming up with really good content.
Yeah, and I suppose it's easier when you don't like. How old were you when you started?
Well, it was 5 years ago. So what's that? I was 20. Yeah.
You would have had time to do that then. You probably living at home. Living at mum and dad's?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have to, you had time. I remember.
And I was living with Greblo, who was Ash Greblo, who's a comedian.
Yeah.
And,
there you go. Even more conductive to business.
Before he moved to Melbourne,
yeah. But like that's, when you can't, like, if you're not around the people that are doing that thing that you want to do all the time and you're at work all the time, where do you get the chance to be creative? Because all your energy is going into work.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? You don't just come home and go, all right, now I'll set 1.5 hours aside to do comedy before dinner and then I'll read a book and go to sleep.
I also I quit playing footy and I wasn't doing boxing or martial arts at all.
Which now takes up a fair chunk of your day.
That's replaced comedy in a way.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say replaced, but it's taken up the time that I would usually have used to do comedy. Which I don't know. Is that a bad thing? I really like jiu-jitsu. So I don't know. But I quit playing footy because I hated it.
I didn't start because I hated it. Yeah.
Like, I love the sport. I hate the club culture.
Yep.
Like a lot of it, like just circle jerk,
Yep.
essentially.
Yep. It happens.
Yeah.
I like getting the gigs at the footy clubs because they're fun to hang around with.
Yep.
Because that's the thing. I don't have to live in the culture.
Yeah, you get to visit it for a night
I get
and they
to
give you a
visit it,
beer
and
and
we have a great time. I sing their favourite Bon Jovi songs,
Yep.
and we all have a good time. And
Yep.
then I disappear, and they do that 3 more times that week.
There's an ego in all footy clubs. It's not individual egos. It's the whole club ego.
Gang mentality.
It's something like that. It's some wanky fucking that you don't get in a martial arts club. That's eradicated from martial arts.
Because they all know they can kick each other's asses.
Yeah,
Whereas
so
in
they don't-
footy, they all think they can kick each other's asses.
Yes, I think so. Something like that. It has to be something like that. Whereas, like, you go in there as a white belt on your first day, and you get fucked up by a 40-kilogram woman who's been doing it for years, and you get properly fucking messed up. All of a sudden you go, oh, maybe I'm not big and strong like I thought I was. You know, up against people who can actually handle themselves and they know how to put their hands around your throat and put you to sleep. So pretty soon, if you've got an ego, you either quit or you go, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with an ego. I'm getting rid of that.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to break me. So you just go, yep, they can beat me. That's fine.
Yep.
I'm learning. One day I'll
beat
be
them.
good and I'll be able to protect myself.
Exactly.
And that's what you do it for.
But when you're a big,
Hobby.
strapping young lad and you can run real quick with a fucking ball in your hand,
Mm.
and you know the world's unstoppable to you, and you can smash all the pussy in the world and all that kind of stuff, and that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, there's a huge sex culture in those sports.
Okay,
Even
yep.
look at the Richmond thing and that was an isolated incident. I didn't think it needed to go any further than that.
Yeah.
They needed to just go cut it out, strip it down, if you know what I'm saying. Don't fucking post photos of your girlfriend's tits with a medal around it. But there is a lot of that. Is
that what happened?
That's what happened. Remember, Richmond won the grand final that year, and then there was a photo circulating of one of the players' girlfriends or casual flings or whatever. That
Never saw it. With
she
the
had
premiership medal.
Yeah, she had her tits out, and the medal was in there, and it was all.
Have you got that?
I don't have that. I don't have. Look, I didn't source it, but I mean, it was a beautiful picture in the sense that it was a nice.
Erotic?
Well, yeah.
Erotic
I mean,
art?
but it wasn't really erotic. Like she wasn't like touching us over anything. There was the pride of having won the fucking biggest possible thing you can win in that sport.
Yeah.
On top of a really, really nice set of knockers.
Yep.
But I mean, like, it was in the sense of, I'm not trying to objectify this person, but I mean, having the beautiful act of consensual sex with a person after you've also, achieved the highest distinction in your field.
Yep.
I mean, these are two things. That's like for that person, that's a representation of what a great life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it immediately, because there was tits in it, it turned into it's a fucking sex crime.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, the circulation of it shouldn't have happened.
No, it's
at all.
private.
But
Unless
I mean,
you wanted it to be circulated.
Well, but that's the thing is that I don't think that she did. And the guy, like, the thing is, if it had been taken, it should. I don't know how it was, but if that woman wanted that taken, it should have been on her phone, and it should have been printed out once and framed
And put on the fridge.
You know what I mean? Just like we used to take photos, you print one out and you hang it on your wall.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think it was a nice thing, but I don't think that it was for me to see. You know what I mean? It wasn't for me to see.
Okay. Yep.
But if I want to do that, then I'll go and win my own fucking grand final and pair of boobs. And
Win your own pair of boots.
That's right.
At the carnival.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
Descending into fucking objective madness.
That's horrible. We've got to evacuate.
Yeah, evacuate. Pull the pin on that one.
I love AFL footy. I love it. Love the sport.
What about
I think
it?
it's a great sport. Just highly skilled
Very much.
athleticism and fitness and the game. You go to a football game as a fan, and I'm a Carlton supporter, and you go there and the game's close, and you're at the MCG and there's 80,000 people there just screaming. Just the psychology of the team, like you can't help but be part of it.
Are
you
they
know what I mean?
screaming because their team never wins? Oh!
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
See,
pretty much, I think so.
I'm not into the game, but I know how to heckle.
Yeah.
The thing is that I, like, as you know, I'm not considering myself a football fan, but my team, if I were to have one, is Carlton.
Carlton as well, yeah.
As you well know. And the thing is, I've been in a Carlton family in a previous relationship, which was interesting. Well, not interesting in the sense that like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, it was just like, oh, cool, this is weird. Like, I don't have to pretend I like the other colour, because at the end of the day, they're all playing the same sport, and half the times those players have been in a million different other teams. It's just whatever colour you like.
Yeah,
realistically.
Okay. Yeah,
and try telling that to some of the one-eyed people. But anyway, so the first match I ever went to was a Carlton Collingwood one. With my friend Ash Sim, who I love dearly. He lives around the corner from me, known him all my life. And he is why I am a Blues person if I were a football person.
Yep.
And I mean, like, I don't see any action on that, but every now and again I'll tune into one of those games and just kind of have a look.
The interesting thing is that when the game's close, or like on grand final day and the game's close, and one team's standing up every time their team kicks a goal and cheering the same sort of stuff, and then the other team kicks a goal, and you've got two massive groups of people, 50,000 people aside,
bobbing up,
all in the same mindset. They're all in the same frame of mind, and that doesn't happen very often.
But they're all following the opposite colour.
Yeah, and but the fact that they're all on the same channel.
Yeah,
it's the same as if you're at a Black Sabbath concert back in the day.
Everyone's there for that.
Everyone's banging their head to the same rhythm.
Yeah.
It's mass mind control in a way.
Except they're not. They don't hate each other.
No, they're all going, I love this fucking band so much, and they're all in the same train of thought. Going,
they're not like, fuck you, the Pines are the best, I'm going to kill ya. But
some of them might.
I've been to a place where we're watching football, and I got some greasies when I just saw what was undoubtedly an amazing mark, and I was like, fucking hell, did you see that? And everyone's like shooting me dirty, going, what'd you fucking say? And I'm like, did you see that? That was an amazing display. And they're just like, oh, no, fucking not a fucking team, I don't give a fuck about any of that. It's like, hey dude, how can you not appreciate
he jumped on someone's shoulder?
Yeah, that guy is 6.5 foot and he just jumped taller than that guy's head to catch a ball out of the sky. Doesn't matter what colour fucking petticoat he's got on. Just fucking appreciate the simple fact that this motherfucker is a monster. Do you remember the days when those footy players had jobs still? They were still plumbers in the day and shit. Yeah. Now they're on $1 million contracts unless they're like, just a normal fucking player. But like Craig Bradley still had a mullet. And that's the thing, is the only players I know are Craig Bradley, Koutoufides and Brendan Favola, and they're from 3 different eras of Carlton.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's it, Craig
Bradley.
Yeah.
Played for like 40 years.
And Christou, and here's the only reason I know and Christou is because we went to, what did he play? Who did he play for?
He did
play for Carlton.
Best friends with Anthony Koutoufides.
Well, there you go. Well, here's how I know him.
If you're out there listening, I'm a big fan. Always.
Cooter, fucking Feedies. Now, Jordan comes up all the time. Jordan Forster. Now, he's in a band called Vessel. Now, he comes up all the time because I've known him my whole life too. We were at Dalesford one day just to getting drunk in a house,
Yeah.
And we were laughing our guts out. And he said something like, one of the guys sat down and their nuts was hanging out the side of their pants. He goes, take that, Ange Christou. And everyone laughed because like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just because Ange Christou was like, that was the joke. I had to like click on for a minute. Who's Ange Christou? He was a Carlton player in like ages ago. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. And then we're like, hang on, why did you say Ange Christou specifically? And he goes, don't you remember? Don't you remember? Like, what are you talking about? And he goes, Ange Christou was on the front cover of the Herald Sun kicking the ball, and his nut was hanging out the side.
Oh, really?
Of the thingo of his pants or something like that. It was like or it was on TV, a slow mo replay, and he kicked the ball, and his nut sack fell out the side, or his cock and balls fell out the side, and one of the guys. So we lost our fucking minds. So there's another player I know, which is Ange Christou. Yeah. Thanks for that, Jordan. By the way,
I think there was rumours, and I don't want to be libelous, but I think there was rumours around Anthony Koutoufides and Ange Christou, because they were best mates.
Yeah.
But there might have been some rumours that they might have been of a homosexual relationship.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But I don't think it was true, which is horrible.
Well, Koutoufides. Anthony Koutoufides. Fuck, imagine if we got Koutoufides on the show. The only fucking football player I ever knew. What does he look like now? Is he bald?
The same. No, it's like massively
Who's
fit.
bald? Tony Lockett.
Greek god.
Oh, fuck yeah, the Adonis, Koutoufides.
Yeah, he still looks like that.
Yeah, shit.
He's fitter than he was when he was playing footy.
Way.
Yeah.
Koutoufides, man. Get on the show, you fucking legend.
Yeah.
I used to
Cooter. I'm connected. We can get him on.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
Cooter Jones.
Yeah.
That's great.
We'll try and do it.
How do we get Koutoufides? Let me just write this down. Contact Koutoufides. Should I contact?
I've got a direct contact, a relation of him.
Really?
Yeah,
Who
comedian.
is it?
Comedian.
Oh, right. I used to play badminton with a kid who I think was Tony Lockett's like second cousin's nephew or something.
Let's get Plugger on here too. Become a favour.
I don't want to do that.
We hate footy.
Oh, like,
get these players.
Hey, Plugger, convince me to like your fucking stupid sport. Contact Cooter's management.
He could do some convincing. Fuck, he used to punch the shit out of people.
That's not convincing. That's violence.
Yeah, he used to be violent as fuck.
Man, that was the thing back in those days too. You'd fucking have scraps on there. They go, righto, boys, fuck off. And now it's just like, you're going to fucking sit on the bench for 6 weeks. It's like,
$50,000 fine.
Fucking hell, 50 grand. Imagine what I could do if someone gave us 50 grand to do this, dude.
Oh,
imagine that. We could not we could cut our work hours in half. 50 grand just for fucking scuffling some dude like that.
Yeah.
You put your body on his body a little quicker than you'd normally if you'd shook hands.
Yeah.
50 grand.
I think that was
bullshit.
just a.
Oh, but I wouldn't surprise me.
I think they do get big fines. Correct us if you're wrong. If you're out there listening to the podcast,
Koutoufides, what's your biggest fine?
I don't think Cooter was a slugger, which is
No?
good. No, I think he was a gentleman of the sport.
Yeah, well, that's good. You got to have those.
We love you, Koutoufides.
Koutoufides, Anthony Koutoufides, you fucking legend. Remember he used to have that the eyebrows was like the front of the eyes like doing this was like his logo or something.
Yeah.
That was his
I think
like
so.
branding.
Like his cartoon.
Yeah, he had his branding.
He used to pick up the footy with one hand.
Fuck,
Just
what
put
a
his
monster.
big Greek hand on the top of the
Yeah.
footy and just pluck it. Like Dennis Cometti used to say, Koutoufides picks up the ball like a loaf of bread.
Obviously not sliced.
Yeah, just a big loaf from the bakery.
That's right.
I used to love that footy commentary back in the day. That's
Yeah.
like my nostalgia.
Yeah.
Dennis Cometti.
But now it's all just like little white sounding ones. Yeah, no, he's going to come out town.
On Fox it is, but you still get Bruce McAvaney, which is special.
Yeah, you got to have someone with a nice voice. Like,
Bruce is passionate. He's just like, oh, geez, look at him go. Oh, like he's having a
wank.
sexual experience
Yeah.
with it. Like, there's a video of Bruce McAvaney watching a horse race. He's like, oh, geez, look at her go. And he's getting all emotional. His voice is breaking. He's like, oh, geez, she's good. And someone's filming him, like, just...
He puts the
headphones
extra
on.
sauce on there for the extra 10 grand he gets for it. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'll do it for 65, mate, and I'll put a bit of passion into it.
Like
Fucking what a horse.
At the Brownlow medal and stuff, when he's looking at the players who've just been awarded the Brownlow, he's so short that he's
Yeah.
like gazing up at them into their eyes.
Yeah.
Geez, you're a marvellous player, aren't you? You're just
marvellous.
your calf muscles, geez, they're tremendous calf muscles.
Jeez, that's creepy shit.
Yeah,
but like
it's
when
brilliant.
when you think about this, the
Bruce.
contrast between those guys who used to have to be tradies, they had a bit of a pop beer and pie belly. I don't know, why I'm
Yeah,
stuttering
dart
so
at
hard.
half-time.
Yeah, they'd have a fucking smoke halfway through the game.
We should get an AFL footballer on there.
We should.
Here to confirm.
Do you know any? Are there any in Bendigo?
Yeah, there's a few
Yeah.
footy players.
Oh, I knew this old gentleman who used to come into work all the time to get his dry cleaning done, and he was like an original Carlton player in like the 50s or 40s or something. I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
like really old player.
Yeah.
And I mean, like not a player. He's 90 years old now, but I can't remember his name. But he was such a nice dude.
Yeah. Because Bendigo,
Brought his original jersey, Guernsey or whatever in Jersey. What do they call them?
footy jumper.
Yeah, brought his original game worn footy jumper in for us to clean.
That's crazy. From the 50s.
Yeah.
60s. Oh, yeah. Because back when zoning was a thing in AFL, each team had a specific zone. Bendigo was Carlton's zone.
Yeah, really.
No, so if you played footy to an elite level in Bendigo,
You
you're
to
one of the
Carlton.
guns, you went to Carlton.
Yeah, right. That's probably why.
So people like Greg Williams is from Bendigo.
Yeah.
And he was 3-time Brownlow medalist. Or 2-time, I think.
Yeah, right. Who's Greg?
Should have won
Williams?
3. Yeah, just a gun midfielder
Yeah.
from Carlton, Sydney.
Yeah, nice. Man, I see a lot of young kids that get into football that are like an almanac on football. They know everything about it. And
My
it's
brother
really-
is like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one too. And I don't think your brother speaks this way, but I see it with a lot of younger kids. They speak like old men when it comes to football.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got Carlton's. They've won this many games here, and they've done this, and the kids actually talk this way in this manner, and they don't
I've
really.
seen that, yeah.
No, you know those like street talk, that Bendigo street talk. There's a kid who's like, nope, Gold Coast haven't won any premiers this year, and this, and this, and then they just know everything. But it's really strange.
They're using that same persona that has
they
been
hear.
passed down through the generations
Well, how
of
about
talking
this?
about footy. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, they played good. You know, there's that footy talk. Even the AFL players all talk like that when they're interviewed after a game. It's that, you know, which is good, and they say which is good a lot. So yeah, we went out there and kicked a few goals, which is good.
Just to confirm
and
that.
you know, he got quite a few disposals,
Team
which is
effort.
good. It was a team effort, and you know, hats off to the other team. You know, they're all saying the exact same shit
Horse
after
races
every game.
do that though. Hey, no, she's a good horse and she'll go all day. That's the
We put the blinkers on her today for the first time, and you know, she ran well. Found a bit of trouble when we hit the straight.
And all that same generic horse racing talk lingo.
There's a young kid that I know, family friend, young fellow worked at KFC, and I knew when he taught me about football when he was like 8 years old, and I said, Cam, tell me about this stuff. I got no idea. And he literally gave me a play for play, how many players are on a team, why they've managed to add, and this is when the Gold Coast Suns first came in, and he's like, they've managed to add an extra team, they've had to change the roster, they've had to do all this stuff, and why do they trade teams? And this kid he knew everything. I'm like, you could sit that kid in a booth that day to commentate on a game. You could sit him anywhere. I mean, like, unfortunately, he was really into, I don't know if he was into betting sort of thing, but like, he was like, you know, this team's going to win, this are the odds and stuff like that. I'm like, well, this is kind of unnerving, just to take it dark again. But freak on the details. Knew every player on the screen, knew everything about him, how many disposals, how many assists, how many fucking, you know what I mean? I don't know if they have assists or whatever, but just knew everything about the sport. And I'm like, I wish I was that dedicated at anything in my life.
Yep.
Imagine, especially at a sub-10 age, having that much detail on something.
I'm
That's
able to sit there and
amazing.
watch an AFL game and know what's going on.
I
And
have no idea what's
you
going
don't really think about, like, people like you who aren't football fans. I usually watch footy with other footy fans, so it's just constant. Everyone's, how many disposals has he got? He's got 30 disposals. Yeah, he's still a quarter left.
But I don't see how that, like, why knowing that stuff about someone else is going to have any effect on anything.
Not sure. It's just like, you like to keep tabs on who's playing a good game and, like, is the person that's playing on them doing a good job or a shit job, or should they get someone else on him? Or they can't stop him.
Because if you want to streamline the process, you could literally have a random number generator, right? And you just take bets on that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Cut the cost down. You wouldn't have to build all those stadiums. Random number generator, boom for you, and you could just have each player do that every week. And you just
hit a button,
take bets on that.
Oh, you won.
That's right. Yeah, no skill involved. That's how it's going to be one day. Someone's going to, so you know how they can CG everything in the computer machines and all that.
Yeah,
it's just someone's going to come over and hit a button, and it'll say Carlton 68, Essendon 46, and then they'll generate a game based on that. And then there you go. You want something to bloody watch here? We've got a computer game. You can go and watch that.
It's like the shittest game in the world.
Well, hey, people bought it on PlayStation.
You're true.
I suppose you do have to control the players to win.
You do, but it's still a random number generator.
It's madness.
But I think we should probably wrap this one up.
Yeah.
And go and enjoy our day.
That's it.
Once again, thanks for listening to the podcast, the Flow State podcast with Broden and Cody. It's been great. We'll see you for episode 10 next week.
Congratulations on episode 9. Bump it. I don't want to get infected.
Yeah, true. No infections necessary.
That's right.
And just a reminder out there that if you do want to listen and stay abreast with this podcast, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, the Facebooks, and Whooshka. We're available on all those platforms. So whatever one you like, whichever one you prefer, go over there and get that. And make sure you enjoy your week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Don't get sick. And look after your loved ones.
Fantastic advice, Cody. Thanks. See you later, guys.
Bye.